Hello, everybody out there in the wide world. Welcome to another live stream from Garphill. How you doing, Sam? What's been going on?
I'm doing so good. I had a wedding this weekend, which was heaps of fun. It was actually Zach's brother. How did you enjoy the wedding, Zach? Do you have a great time?
Yeah, it was a great time. Very happy for my brother, and his new bride is very nice person and happy all about that. But unfortunately, my youngest daughter also got sick over the course of that afternoon, and my wife ended up having to go home before the dinner, which was a little bit dumb. But these things happen when you have kids,
They
so
do.
that's life.
Cool. So we've been wanting to share this game for quite a while, right? Like it's been designed for a fair bit. We've been testing a lot over the year, and we kind of had to keep quiet because another secret project was taking priority. Secret societies. So we couldn't really say anything about this one until we well, really until we kind of finished with secret societies on Kickstarter and stuff. So we didn't want to steal any of that game's limelight. So, but we are pretty stoked to finally talk about this one. So, if our sound is off, anything, let us know, please. But Sam, do you want to talk a bit about the origin of this game? I haven't seen the name yet. This game.
Yeah. I want to talk about the origin without saying the name yet. Are we going to keep a little bit of suspense up in the air? So, at the start of this year, we moved into an office. We're going to call it Garphill headquarters. And this was quite life-changing for me, I guess, because for the last kind of 3, 4 years, we've all been working from home. And so we would occasionally meet up in person, Shem and I, to play test and actually just play other people's games as well, which was always great. We live about an hour drive from each other, but this office really changed the way that I do game design, I guess, because it allows us to just spend more time with each other and to collaborate in person and get out pieces and all these stuff that we've got available to us in the office. It's really good. So all three of us were there in the office with this kind of collaborative environment that had been established. And one day Shem had this idea. He's like, I've got this idea for a little push your luck card game. And so we went downstairs to this beautiful gaming table and we got out a copy of Ethnos. And maybe there was a copy of Regicide in there at some point
Yeah, I
as
think there
well.
was. Yeah.
And we just started like kind of playing, just brainstorming, making changes on the go. And there's always this moment in game design. Well, you hope that you get to this moment in game design, which I just want to call the breakthrough. There's these moments where it's like, okay, we've made this breakthrough, and now it feels like a game. So it's a game that was. It started off as a push your luck game. There are definitely push your luck elements to this game still, but it just started off as a push your luck game. And you had this area where these cards would come onto this area for you, and if there was a certain number too many of the same suit, then you would bust. So you didn't want that to happen, and so you would recruit these cards down and kind of move them down in like Elysium styles, I guess. And once they're in that area, then you could start scoring points with them. So that was quite a simple system. But this breakthrough was when we realized that the cards that have suits could also have powers, and you've got a choice of bringing them down into this area where you recruit them for points, or picking them up into your hand, which at a later point you could play them for some cool card effects. And this was a great moment because we realized there were so many things that we could do with card play effects and synergies between cards and things like that. And there were really good motivations, like you wanted to clear your road to prevent yourself from busting, but which way were you going to do it? Were you going to recruit these cards or draw these into hand? So that was the breakthrough. And that kind of came about by us just hanging out, talking through things, coming up with ideas, and eventually kind of landing on this idea, which probably only came to us in the first day. And then by the second day, we'd really gone to town with the with the design of the game. Uh, so it was a lot of fun. Did you enjoy the process, Zach? I don't think you've done anything like that before, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time for me kind of doing a game jam, as we could call it, just that kind of like collaborative session together. And I've had those sorts of things with other creative processes like songwriting, and like it's always, I think the some of the best songs you come up with is when it's not one person writing, but when everyone is there together in every moment. And so it was really amazing. But what amazed me as well is how quickly we developed it, because we were just working on it all day, by the end of the day there was like a playable game, and by the end of the second day it had like more identity, and it was just like, because we were just so passionate about it and just smashing so many reps of playing it and then changing it and then playing it and then changing it. Yeah, it just came together surprisingly quickly.
Yeah, it was a great time. Apparently, I'm not sure if this has been fixed, Shem, but apparently I'm Shem and you're Sam.
Yeah,
I'm not
we
sure
have
if
swapped
that
back.
might have
Yeah.
already. Okay, my bad, my bad. So before we actually announce this game, I'm going to give a little hint as to the theme of the game by asking a question, and I'm going to ask this question to the audience, and then I'll also get Zach to answer it first as well. So to the audience, to you guys there in the chat, let us know, what is your favorite ancient or medieval civilization? What is your favorite ancient or medieval civilization? And Zach, would you start us off with your answer?
Well, look, it's maybe a little classic in terms of it's probably the same for a lot of people, but I studied Latin at university, so you can probably guess that my favorite ancient or medieval civilization is the Romans, both the Republic and the Empire. And then I moved to Italy and lived there for 10 years, so that was kind of a given.
It's really funny
And I'll
because that.
pass.
Yeah. Go. I'll answer the question, but it's really funny. I don't know if you guys remember that meme that was going around like a while ago, where like, like wives and partners would ask their partners like, how often, when did you last think of the Roman Empire? And I think this happened for me once. I got asked this question. I was like, oh yeah, like a few hours ago. I don't actually think about them every day, but when I got asked, it was just hilarious. So we've
What
got
about you,
a
Sam?
few Egyptians in the chat. My favorite civilization, I think it came about by doing a lot of research for the South Tigris games, and I really enjoyed learning about this golden age of science by the Abbasids and the collaborative environment that was there in the House of Wisdom. All sorts of people of different cultures and faiths kind of coming together to further human knowledge. And so I thought that was really interesting. I love learning about them. So my answer is going to be Abbasids. Yeah. And Shem,
Well,
I
someone
wonder if we
is.
can guess what your
Yeah.
favorite is, but
Can we guess? I
go
don't know.
ahead.
Can we guess? I mean, I love a lot of ancient and medieval civs, like obviously based on the games we released, but I have to go with just generally with Vikings, right? Like the Norse, the Danes, the Finns, the Swedes. I don't know. I guess it was my first love into this kind of, I guess, this world, this theme, this kind of desire to make games or play in this kind of space. So, I mean, I enjoy like pirates and all that kind of stuff as well. But growing up, it was always the classic medieval, especially Vikings kind of stuff. So that's what I am. I can't deny it. So
Love it.
yeah. All right, are we ready to maybe show off some box cover artwork? Maybe. Yeah.
Let's do it, Shem. Let's do it.
Cool. All right. Introducing, if I can get this right, our next game. Here it is. Spirited. Dun, dun, dun. Some of you may have already seen this released or teased a bit on Dice Tower. They accidentally shut off the box cover, but honest mistake. So you may have seen this already, but for those who haven't, this is Spirited. So designed by myself, Sam, and Zach, and the art is mostly by Petri Bilanovsky, who hasn't actually done any board games yet. I think there might be some Borkana cards coming soon from him. He's done a lot of work for Disney and other kind of big companies and digital gaming companies. So he's doing all of the character art in the game, and some of the backgrounds you'll see are his as well, but mostly the character art. Miko, the Micho, is doing all of the wonders in the game. So each civ in the game, we'll get into it more, has a wonder. He's doing all of those, and then my brother Sam Phillips is doing all of the backgrounds on the more recent cards and the player boards, the main board, and some of the extra little details and stuff that you'll see. So we'll be showing that off pretty soon. But there it is, Spirited.
So good.
Should I give a little bit of some flavor, A bit of flavor?
Yeah.
All right, so the story. From the halls of history comes a familiar tale of brave warriors fighting to leave their mark. With allegiances on the line, will you rise as one worthy to be followed? Forge great armies in your camps, construct wonders, and keep a watchful eye on the road ahead. Will you reign as the most spirited champion of the ancient world? Dun, dun. So it's not one civ, It's mini civs. So it's not going to be obviously in our ancient line of games because it's very different looking. Yeah, this is a one-off game, but we have some plans. I guess we'll say we have some long-term plans as well. But this is going to be coming to Kickstarter next year and to BGA very soon, or towards the end of the year at least. I saw Geordie was in the chat too, so thank you, Geordie, for all the awesome work on the BGA
Geordie's amazing.
adaptation. Yes, so good. I love playing it on there as well. All right, so Zach, would you like to? I'll just get a bit of a picture up. Talk a bit about just the general gameplay and that kind of stuff, and what's the aim of the game? What are you doing in the game, and who are you doing? Who are you as a player? What are you trying to achieve? Here's a lovely render by Nicola of Arcus Games of Spirited. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, sure. So Spirited is a highly interactive card-driven game. And as Sam kind of already mentioned, talking about the design process, it has some set collection and some push your luck elements. And each time you play the game, you're going to select 7 of the available in the base game 12 civilizations to play with. Now, each of those civilizations is going to give you 10 cards to form the main deck. And they also contribute, although you'll include all the available wonders, each civilization also comes with a wonder. And over the course of the game, players will be able to form allegiances with specific clans. They'll be able to gain ongoing player powers while they have those allegiances. And players will also be able to build wonders by spending 7 cards, one of each different clan in the game. So by doing these two things, by creating allegiances and by building wonders, is the main way you're going to gain points to win the game. So the player with the most points at the end. So Spirited has a high level of interaction, as I mentioned, with players having 3 areas for their cards, and you can probably see that in the render. So players have a player board, and above their player board, they have what we call the road. And so this is where cards are going to be arriving into the play area from the deck. And this is the area where if you have too many of a single clan, you can bust, you can overrun, and have to clear out everything, all your set collection, and start again, basically. But there are some little bonuses that you get if that happens, just to make sure it's not too punishing. And the same thing, if you collect a set of a certain clan, you can decide to march for their allegiance, but you're going to have to clear out your road and your camps as well, is what we call those set collection areas. The other area, as Sam also alluded to, is your hand of playing cards. So each of these clans has a unique play ability, and it's the same ability for the 10 cards of that clan that are in the deck, but it's unique for every clan. And as I said, you're going to choose 7 clans, so every game you're going to have a different set of abilities, and these cards are going to have different synergies with other clans, and it gets really interesting. And what these cards can do is they can interact with the other players' roads. So you're able to go and mess with other people's roads. You can sometimes recruit cards from their roads, pick cards up from their roads, swap cards with their roads, all sorts of stuff. But people can't mess with your camps or with your hand, basically. So that's where all the interaction is going to be happening on people's roads. And over the course of the game, in the deck are 3 passing of time cards, and as these cards come out, the game's going to progress. And as the game progresses, there's going to happen what we call battles. And when battles happen, you can basically score some of your allegiances a second time, and also do various other effects according to how many allegiances you have, or if you've got certain allegiances that do things on a battle. As I said, this game has a bunch of variability, and this comes from selecting any 7 clans to play with. You're not limited to, oh, you need to choose this set. You can just randomly pick 7, or you could select 7 that you think will be extra fun. But Spirited is always going to be fresh, with players getting to experience new combinations of powers and finding unexpected synergies between these clans. Cool. So I'll pass it over the mic to Sam, and he's going to talk a little bit more about these clans and what it means from game from game to game to select them and play with them, and maybe what some of the powers are.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. So we did have a question in the chat, which was, will each ancient civ be represented by a single animal? Yes, that is the case. And we've tried to select an animal that was of some importance to those people or was found in their area or whatever. And so, yeah, each civ will be represented by an animal. And as Zach has already explained, the deck is made up of 7 different civs, and there's 10 cards for each civ. They're all the same. All those cards are the same for each civ. But then there are the allegiances themselves. The allegiances, if you claim an allegiance, not only do you score points, but you basically get this passive ongoing ability that is really fun. We have designed, I'm not sure I'm allowed to say, Shem. I don't know.
We've designed quite a few.
We have designed a lot of different civilizations for this game. And the thing that surprised me, that I almost didn't believe, was that you could just chuck in any random 7 from the set that we've designed and the game works. Like, of course the game works, but it's actually good. Like, I've played games that do this sort of thing, and there are some degenerate sets that something will be missing from the game and it just kind of feels weird. I don't think that's the case with Spirited. You really can have any set of 7. And yes, it will give the game a complete different flavor, but there's always a way to figure out synergies between the cards that are there. It kind of surprised us. We had that meme going on in our heads when we were playing. It's working! It's working! Anakin in the whatever it's called. What is it? What is this little thing called? A pod racer?
Yeah.
Pod racer.
Yeah. We had that thing going because we're like, wait, this card and this card and this card, these all work. And so it's a game of kind of managing risk, and it's a game of finding synergies between different combos. And then you have that fun thought afterwards, thinking like, imagine if this clan was here and this clan was here and this clan was here, and we had a game where you got all 3 of those allegiances and you get to do this really cool thing. So it makes the game really fun to set up again and play again. And that's kind of where I think the game is the most fun, is playing over and over and over, and you get to see the cool trick of like all these clans working. So they have the card play abilities, they have the passive ongoing power, and then, as Zach has said, we throw the wonders into the mix as well. And that's just going to be a deck that, if you keep expanding the game, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just shuffle it each time. So, Shem, is there more that you want to say about the kind of the variability, the different clans, things like that? Maybe an example or two would be cool.
Yeah, I definitely echo what you're saying. Excuse me. We've played games previously and quite recently too, where they do the exact same trick, I guess you could say. And some people have mentioned some of the games already in the chat, where you do feel like they kind of dropped the ball a bit, where a certain combination just does not work, right? And that was always the fear, like you're saying. So
yeah,
you're right. It's absolute, like almost like a lucky fluke. But also I think a lot of those games, they rely heavily on what the cards do. Like the cards are the actions almost. Whereas in Spirited, the core game works with very basic cards. Like you could have kind of like generic cards that have nothing on them and it would still function. So the what the cards bring is flavor and fun and variety. All right, here's some examples of what a clan would look like, Sam.
Okay.
He's bringing it up. Can you see it, Sam?
I can't see.
All right, so on the screen,
you go ahead.
All right, on the screen we can see the Chinese allegiance, the Chinese clan and the Egyptian clan. So the Chinese card, the one that's sort of portrait on the left-hand side, if you play that card, it's going to say reveal 2 cards onto your road, and then you get to not reveal 2 at the end of your turn, which is usually what happens. Is you would take your action, then you would reveal 2 and hopefully not bust, not be overrun. So the Chinese card's almost like a defensive card. You play it, you get more options, and then you're not going to risk being ruined. If you get the allegiance for the Chinese, you can then use those Chinese cards as any clan for building wonders. Usually you need one of each of the 7 clans that have been played to build a wonder, but the Chinese kind of act as wild if you have that allegiance. And we can see the Himanjai Castle, the White Castle, is the wonder for them as well. So you don't have to have the Chinese card or the allegiance to build that wonder. It's just kind of gets added into the game, as Sam was saying. For the Egyptians, if you play their card, you place one card from your road into an opponent's hand. So you give them a card off your road, which could be defensive for you to get it off your road. And then you can pick up one card from their road into your hand. So if you really like what they have in front of them, you can then, get rid of one of your cards, get one of their cards. Fun shenanigans. And then if you have the Egyptian allegiance, you can actually play 2 cards on your turns where you scout. So usually, if you choose to scout, which is one of the main actions in the game, usually you could play a card if you want to, and then interact with one of the cards on your road, either to rally it into your hand or recruit it into your camp. But the Egyptians let you basically do that twice, which is pretty fun. So you can actually play like 2 Chinese cards and then see 4 cards and then reveal no cards on your road. Or you could play an Egyptian to get rid of a card off your road, pick up a card off your friend's road, and then play that card straight away. So the combos are really fun in the game. And of course, we can see the Great Pyramid of Giza. Sam, yeah, can you see it now? Or is that enough?
Yeah, I can see it now. Sorry, it was just a little behind. But yeah, just what you've pointed out with the card play elements in the game, there is a lot of ways to mess with other people's roads. But your camp is safe and your hand is safe. So the road is kind of that area that's fair game. But there's also a ton of ways to positively interact as well, like giving you stuff, shielding stuff for you so that I get stuff, So if I help Shem, we both get further ahead than Zach. So there's really cool moments of interaction in the game. And the card play kind of shenanigans is really fun and satisfying, makes you feel smart. And the take that elements, I think, really I don't know, I think we've been really like fair and balanced with it, where it's only in areas that you expect. Like, I know that my road can be messed with, and you have to kind of like, that creates a fair bit of tension in the game, because I know that these cards out in front of me here, players can access them through some effects. So I need to protect the ones that I want to protect and claim the ones that I want to claim first, to make sure that I've got them locked down. And just a little word on what we've got up there. Actually, we do have the Great Wall in the game.
Yeah,
the Great Wall is the Chinese wonder, and we've sort of spoiled that the Japanese are in the game as well. So the Japanese will be a civilization in the game.
That was totally intentional. It wasn't me making mistakes when I made the graphics at all. Yeah.
So I want to let you guys know what my favorite base game civilization is. And my favorite base game civilization is the Aztecs. Now, the Aztecs have their card allows them, when it's in their hand, on your turn, you can play it back down into your road. So you can place it into your road, which is really nice because it gives you a way to recruit those cards as well. But when you place it into your road, you get to pick up a card from someone else's road. So it creates these really interesting moments. You've got a lot of options when you do that, and you can take away cards that other people are wanting to recruit, or you could take cards that you're really hoping to play on a future turn and then, recruit the Aztecs yourself. So they are probably my favorite base game civilization, though it was really hard to pick. Zach, who are you? What's your favorite civilization?
So my favorite base game civilization is the Chinese, who Shem has already shown. For 2 reasons. I love their civilization power, being able to try and do a bunch of wonders, just holding on to a bunch of Chinese cards and using them as wilds for the wonders. That can be a lot of fun as a strategy. But also their card ability is super useful, because in this game, busting doesn't always feel bad, but it does feel bad when you've got like 2 camps, which is the max you can have. You can have up to 2 camps, so you're collecting 2 clans to gain their allegiances. And you've got 2 of them at basically the max amount, and then you bust. Then that's when it feels really bad. The great thing about the Chinese is, in that moment when you're about to recruit, that last card that you need to max out the allegiance, you can play a Chinese just to see if you would have busted or not. And then if you're going to bust, you can respond to that. Instead of recruiting the card that you needed for the allegiance, you can, pick up the card that would have made you bust. So they're just like, it's a great defensive play, but they're also useful when you've got nothing on your road that you want to pick up or recruit.
Yeah.
So you can play down the Chinese, get to see 2 new cards, and then have more options, as Sam mentioned. So they're quite versatile, and I like that.
Totally.
I'll hand over to Shem and ask you, what is your favorite in the base game?
Indeed. There's been some comments also about like take that as a thing. I would say this game has no take that personally. It's actually on BGG right now if you want to find it. But yeah, I wouldn't say take that at all. The thing with the road is it's like it's kind of an opportunity area. So you don't mind people taking cards off your road because it's making you less likely to be overrun on your next turn. So it's like once you know that's a thing, once you know that your road is fair game, it doesn't feel mean at all. So which is cool. Like it's very interactive in a good way. You'll often be putting cards onto other players' camps face down, or you'll be giving them cards to hand, that kind of thing. But you are competing for these allegiances, so that's where the interaction really shines and comes through. My favorite base game Civ. This was hard. It was definitely hard to pick a favorite, but mine is the Sao. So Sao are from sort of very ancient Nigeria. There was the Sao and the Nok, which both sort of in the similar area of the world, but the Sao are pretty cool. We've got them as a hyena in the game, which I love. Just to have a hyena in a game. Like how many games have hyenas? If you play a Sao card, you place it onto your road, you pick up a different card off your road, and then you can play another card. So they're similar to the Aztecs, but you get to get off your own road instead of someone else's, and you can then play another card. So like this type of like the Egyptian power, there's just crazy card plays you can do, lots of cool combos. But they're real fun because you can just like play them out of your hand and then recruit them quickly or whatever else. Pick up a Roman card and play that Roman card, which I haven't explained yet, but then, it's lots of fun. And if you have the allegiance for the Sao, when you were to recruit a card during your scout step off your road, you can instead recruit one from your hand, which you can't usually do in the game. You can't usually recruit cards from your hand. And then you would play one fewer card or reveal one fewer card when you summon at the end of your turn. So it's kind of slightly defensive as well. But yeah, that's the Sao. There are 12 civs in the base game, so there's a ton of variability, tons of cool powers. Some are focused more on like recruiting, others are more about rallying cards or playing cards or all sorts of cool stuff, using face down cards, which are wilds in your camps, or they're shields on your roads to defend your road more and stuff like that. So lots of cool stuff. All right, shall we give some more details?
Sounds great, man.
The plan. And I'm going to chuck some links in soon as well. So it is coming to BGA. It's currently in private alpha. I think it's going to alpha pretty soon. We're just finishing off some final tests on the solo mode. I didn't say as well, but you might be able to see on the box. If you zoom in, this is for 1 to 6 players. So it's got a very big, obviously, scope for player counts. Works well at all of them. We've tested a lot at all player counts. So yeah, it's there's a very simple bot to run for solo players. I can play a solo game in about 25 minutes, I think it is, 30 minutes. So very snappy, but you get to get all that fun combo, cool card play stuff on your plays as well. But yeah, it's going to BGA. Maybe might go to beta in November, but more likely a December kind of release for most people. That's the plan that Geordie's working on. So, but we've done tons of bug testing, and it's slowly getting less and less and less to report because it's all playing quite smoothly now. Just the solo is kind of the last thing to get done. And we're coming to Kickstarter in probably mid-January next year. That is the plan. The base game will include 12 clans, like I said, but we're doing a thing. We haven't done stretch goals in a long time, but it kind of feels like it's worth it for this one. That every 1,000 backers will unlock another free expansion of 4 more clans. So the expansion packs will be kind of a small tuck box style thing, not too small, but kind of a throwaway box essentially that comes with 4 entirely fresh clans with their 10 clan cards, their allegiance card, their wonder, their little circular chip token that goes on the main board, and all that kind of stuff. And we have, hopefully, the plan has been, as we've been testing them, is to kind of future-proof for expansions. So sort of like defining all of the terminology and stuff so that if we bring in a card that has some crazy power down the line, there's no questions asked. It's very simple, that you know how it works because all the rules make sense. So we've done tons of that kind of stuff in preparation for this. So hey, if we get 10,000 backers, yeah, right. But if we do, then we're ready to go. That's right. But yeah. The original plan was just to do like, you get 2 expansions for free, and then we'll slowly release expansions in the future. But we're hoping that people jump on this and enjoy it and like what we're doing, because it's something different from our usual, I guess, range of games. It's It's not super heavy. I would say it's kind of light to medium, probably in the medium kind of category. Once you've got the teach done, then it's pretty simple to play. It's pretty fast. Plays in under an hour usually. Unless you do more and more players, of course, it goes a bit longer. But we wanted to bring in something that connects it to Garphill, which is the theme, like the ancient civs and stuff. So hopefully there's still a point of connection there for most of our Garphill fans. But I might just share some links. Any questions in the chat there, Sam, you want to answer?
Yeah. So there's a question here about, I remember seeing it about how it plays at higher player counts. Zach, do you have any thoughts on that? Higher player counts.
At higher player counts, it's just there's a lot more interaction because there's a lot more people to potentially interact with your road. But the thing is that it's a game that sometimes, like I think as Shem said, interaction doesn't mean it's take that. Like sometimes you want people interacting with your road, so it can actually be quite nice having more players in the game because then you're getting stuff changing a bit more on your road before it's your turn, which can actually be really beneficial to you or other people's roads as well, because you're holding a card and maybe you're waiting for a certain clan to come out on other people's roads so you can pick it up. So the more people's roads there are, the more chance the thing that you need is going to come out. So but I think it works really well at all player counts, and I don't think we would have decided to make it at those player counts unless it worked well. So, and it was really impressive that she managed to come up with a solo bot as well. Me and Sam were both blown away.
Yeah, totally.
Especially when there's
any more questions in the chat, just let us know.
There's like
go ahead, Shem.
All those card interactions, right? There's so many things that you could do with a card as a player, but the bot can't play cards because it's just crazy what they can do. But we managed to do a very simple system where they can kind of do a lot of those things that you'd expect a player to do. Like you might just get a card taken off your road, they might put a card on your road and that kind of thing. So it does all that. There is a link now in the chat to the Kickstarter landing page, and we'll share it on social media soon anyway, but that's there. I'm also going to drop a link to a playthrough, which is going to go live in about 8 days. The three of us playing Spirited. I can say the name now. So there's a link there to a premiere that'll go live in about 8 days. We had a very fun game with that, eh? Like,
yeah,
I think the first turn Sam was overrun and we were just cracking up, and then, well, you'll see what happens when we keep playing it. But it was a good example of the game playing well. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a question here about kind of the complexity of the game. Would you say that this is the lightest game, or at least amongst the lightest games? Perhaps, Shem?
I've got to think of a whole catalogue. I mean, I know that I've published lighter games like years ago, of course, when Garphill was first getting started. But of more recent games, yeah, it is definitely lighter. Not necessarily in like the depth of the game. There's a lot to explore in the game, lots of to come back to. It's the kind of game that, like Sam was saying earlier, you will play it and go, and you play it again and start thinking about, oh, what if that was that combination, and what if that's that? So if you like card games for that reason, thinking about combos and things, this has got a lot of depth to it. But to teach the game and to get started, it's not overly complex. So, which is something we wanted to try and do more of. I think we chatted about it on a podcast episode recently about how kind of got to the point where if you're at a convention and someone's like, can you please teach me this game? And I go, oh, I don't want to teach that game. I don't want to teach you Wayfarers. Yeah. Then that's a thing I kind of want to try and avoid. We're like, yes, I love deep games and heavy games. I like playing them, but we want to start releasing a few games that I'd also actually love to teach. Not saying we're going that way entirely for Garphill at all. So don't worry. There's still heavy stuff coming and it's going to be announced soon. But we want to have some variety and things. So yeah, if that answers the question.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I'll just ask you another question, Shem, because I think this was your idea as well. Spirited. Why Spirited?
Sure. Anytime that there's like a new game, we have to come up with a name. I'm often on thesaurus.com or just like searching for ideas and words. We had things like brave come up. I can't remember what examples we had, but I kind of wanted just a simple name, like a name that you could just, like a one-word name that really sold the theme, sold the kind of the feeling of the game as well. And, you've heard things like spirit animal, that kind of thing about being spirited, being courageous. So, that kind of ties in the the courageous, brave warrior kind of thing, along with
Yeah.
the animal kind of thing loosely. But I was also surprised that the name had not been taken. So there's lots of things that are Spirited, something like Spirited Away, for example, but no game's called Spirited. So we jumped on it, and that's another reason I was so eager to announce the game, just to get the name out there. So yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun making this game, and I think the other thing with the game is we wanted to kind of make a game that was semi collectible, right? Like
Yeah.
doing that trick of adding more factions in and them kind of surprising you, like, oh, this works too. Oh, this is another interesting interaction between the players, and we had a lot of fun just designing cards and playing them all, testing them all, and just kind of thinking through the combos. The thing is, we've played this a lot, but we wouldn't have even seen half of the combos, right? We wouldn't have even seen the number of combinations of factions possible is just ridiculous. So you guys go out there and find some broken ones and let us know.
I can remember when we first we kind of had I think our 12, I think we had 10 or 12 to start with. They were changing daily, but we kind of started to lock in ones that felt I guess like core, or like they really help teach principles of the game, like the Persians. When you play a Persian card, you play it face down as a shield on your road. So it's a very simple card to play. And then other factions or other civs will mention or reference shields as well, but the Persians kind of teach that rule. So the base game factions do a lot of that kind of thing. I can remember though we had a spreadsheet going between the three of us, and I think we pushed it to 20. We're like, yeah, we've got 20. Like that's probably the limit. Probably can't do more than that. And then almost every day, Sam or Zach would be like, I've done 4 more. It's like they'd just be adding more and more like ideas basically. And it got out of hand. But we had tons of fun designing stuff and trying to future-proof stuff, like I was saying before. But yeah, my favorite of the upcoming, maybe hopefully in the near future type expansion, if we're talking expansions, because we are doing expansions. It's no secret now. One of my favorites is actually the Cimmerians. So go Conan the Barbarian. And for 2 reasons. The card itself that you play, you can place a card from your hand on top of the draw pile. So like, I'll get this Egyptian, put it on top of the draw pile, and then recruit one of those cards off any road. And why that's cool is because you get that card, and then when you go to reveal cards at the end of your turn, oh look, that card came back onto my road. So you're kind of keeping that card in play. You can recruit it twice, that kind of thing. And then their allegiance lets you turn one of your cards in your camps face down anytime someone else builds a wonder. Or any player, I think it is, any player builds a wonder. So there's this nice kind of like, oh, I can slowly kind of turn my cards wild. I can pivot out from, I was going for Romans, now I'm going for Egyptians, that kind of thing. So I like both those aspects of them. But yeah, Sam, do you have a favorite of a future expansion?
Yeah, I do actually. It's the Ottomans. So the Ottomans allow you to draw more cards from the top of the deck. You get to add more cards to your road, but they also increase your overrun limit. So it basically means you get more cards to your road without busting. And if you've got a few Ottomans in your hand, you could do several turns in a row playing them, building up this massive road like where everything is going to bust. And then on the next turn, you could choose to be overrun and you get a lot of like kind of catch up mechanisms, or you could just build wonder, build wonder, build wonder. So getting about 3 Ottomans in your hand and doing 3 turns in a row of playing them is a really, really funny strategy. And it's super cool. And so Zach, can you top that? Can you top the Ottomans?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I can top the Ottomans, but I think the knock are pretty fun. So Shim already mentioned the Sao, and he also mentioned the knock when he mentioned the Sao. So the knock will be part of an expansion. Maybe might be some other African civilizations coming into the game as well, but the knock is one of them. And so originally their power was part of the base game. So probably part of the second day of playing the game. But we eventually took it out of the base game because it's a little bit troll. And it's a bit troll because like it's maybe not the best idea to get it. So their allegiance power is that to recruit them from your road, you can recruit once you have their allegiance, you can recruit their cards face down. So they basically just become a wild, which are generally really hard. Like you do get wild cards into your camps in some card play, but it's usually like you're spending 2 cards to be able to, get one face down card because they're really good. With these guys, all knock become wild. You can recruit them face down. But the problem is that if you have a knock on your road, it's lowering the overrun limit for all other clans. So basically, if you have 2 knock on your road, you're in big trouble because basically any card comes onto your road and you're gone. So you really want them, but then you don't want to keep them on your road. So it's like this juggling act. And I find it really fun. And sometimes it's not the best idea to take it, but I always find myself taking their allegiance, and just because I'm like, yeah, I might be able to like get it perfectly this time, So
because like managing the risk is a part of the game as well, right? And you're giving yourself kind of more tension, more stress to like manage all this risk, and I find
more
that
risk,
really
more
fun.
reward, man.
Yeah.
Reward. Yeah.
I think that's about all from all the questions. I mean, there was one about box size. Maybe we'll end with that question, Shem.
Sure.
About the box size.
Yeah, so we're just doing a classic Euro size square. Ticket to Ride is always the name I throw out there for that size. But like the South Tigris games, we could have put it in a smaller box, like an ancient size box for sure. But because we kind of built the game for expansions, like we want to release expansions, we will release expansions. We want to make sure that it's got a good enough amount of room, but also it's going to have an insert to house the base game cards, but also future cards. So the box will have nice tray for that kind of stuff going on, keeping the boards nice and tidy. But also there's going to be like card dividers for every clan. So what you do in the game, you have these little round cardboard discs for each clan. They just go into the bag, and then if you want to play randomly, you just draw out 7, and you find those clans, set up the game with those, and then you can go. The fun part, I think, when you get more than just the base game is that you can basically play the game with those, set them all aside, get the next 7, and just go for it. Like, you don't have to really tidy up straight away. You can just kind of keep playing through different factions, different civs. So kind of makes the replay or the next game a real quick setup as well.
Yeah,
so.
Totally.
Cool. So that's the plan. Thank you for sticking around and all the questions and stuff. It's been a lot of fun designing all of these and also like dreaming up all the different animals and things. Patria has done an amazing job on the character art. I mean, just looks so good. So we've seen, I think we've seen 28 characters now. There's a little tease for you that he's done, and 29. I can think of one more he's done. Nice. And the plan is to have, like I said, there's 4 clans per expansion, and they will be themed. So I can probably tell you, because you'll probably know pretty fast, but the first one is going to be like the Americas. So there's going to be from North and South America, there's going to be 4 clans coming. And then the future ones will be kind of grouped roughly by their geography. So yeah, that's the plan. So hopefully we'll see you play it on BGA and get some feedback, and then join us for the Kickstarter in January. It's going to be a lot of fun. A little question there. Card dividers, turkeys. There won't be a folder space insert, but the one that's coming with the game is like as good as you'll need for the game. So it's going to house everything really nicely and make it very easy to set up and tear down. So cool. Anything else before we go? Are we good? I don't know.
Happy days. Really looking forward to this game. It's just lots of card combos, interesting interaction, and really replayable. So I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with it. I hope.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll be sharing more stuff online soon about the game. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.